Yes, delighted to say that joining us now is a man who scored 163 Premier League goals, 2001 FA Cup winner, two-time League Cup winner, UEFA Cup, Super Cup winner. It's not a bad roll call, that's for sure, for the former England striker, Robbie Fowler. Morning to you, Robbie. How are you?
Morning, Robbie.
Morning, everyone. How's everyone okay?
Everything's great, Robbie. The only thing I would say to you is, mate, if you'd managed another 17 goals, I'd have won the quiz this morning.
I was injured that week.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have done it, no problem.
Just a week.
Oh, listen, Robbie, you're joining us because you've written a book, My Life in Football, which is going to be out in all good bookstores in paperback, and it's sort of an autobiography, isn't it? Charting your rise in football, and it's the positive side of it. There's also the negative side of football that you've talked about really openly in this one. What made you decide to write this book, Robbie?
You know what? I've had one out for a while, actually. So I had one out years ago, and then that was obviously when I was playing football. But then obviously since I've been playing, and I've obviously done various other things, managing and traveling overseas. Someone just said to me, "Well, why don't you put it down into obviously a paper format again, and get someone else to get others to read it?" So I'm unegotistical, so I'm not really that interested in whether people want to hear about me or not, so I ummed and ahed for a while whether to do this, and in the end I'm just like, yeah, go on, I might as well. So it's more of a documentation for my family, if I'm being honest, because I actually hate talking about what I've done, what I've achieved, and Kirsty will tell you we've probably had a few nights out where we can't really put that much in the book, but it's one of them. So it is a documentation for the family, and let other people read it. I'm not really that focused on what I've done in the past anyway. It's gone now. So,
but it's amazing. It's amazing though, Robin, when you think about it, and you touched on it as well. I did the same myself. I did a book donkeys ago. When I was
you're older than me, Kirsty.
There's no doubt about that. I've got a bit on you, mate. And it was just to do with the football. And you touched on it there. There's so much more happened. Probably equally since you've stopped playing, whether it's going to Australia, going to India, and these are the things. Like me, for example, that's what I want to hear about. I'll look forward to hearing that from you.
What, the India one, or?
Oh, by the way, I didn't want to go there, but I've got pals in India. Remember, Robbie? You know what I mean?
Oh, you've got pals everywhere, Kirsty. Yes, look, what it is. So I love the game, and I've still got a lot to offer. So I want to obviously be a manager. I don't want to be a manager. I am a manager, but people think, I've just gone away and I've not done nothing. I've managed in 3 countries now. So I was a player manager in Thailand. I was a manager over in Australia, and now I'm currently a manager in India. So I'm the most inexperienced manager.
But it's fascinating. You talk about that, the fact that you have been all over the world and managed in different countries, which a lot of managers now have not done. What was the experience like? What did you learn from managing in different countries?
I think you're learning every single day. In all fairness, I think the last couple of years have probably been more of a learning experience, more of a learning curve. In Australia, I took over a team who finished second bottom the year before. Can shift in, I think, 77 goals. So you've done remarkably well in tightening up the defence, playing the right way, getting the team playing a good brand of football. I was pretty easy on the eye, possession based, but possession in the right areas of the pitch, which was obviously what I wanted to do. And we obviously qualified for the Asian Champions League, prior to the first COVID lockdown. And then obviously coming home, lost my job because of COVID, and then ended up just in India. Now India was probably the biggest experience because I went over there thinking that if I'm in England doing absolutely nothing, then it might be a year before I get another chance. So I took another gamble on myself, absolutely backed myself. Took a team who hadn't played in the ISL. We had 2 weeks pre-season. It was 2 months into the season before we had portable goals on a training pitch. We ended up finishing ninth, but the achievement was just without sounding egotistical here, I mean, it was remarkable. It really was. How I sort of analysed myself and how we done was, I'm playing, poker on the top table in Las Vegas. Everyone's got a run and everyone's got a flush, and I'm sitting there with a pair of twos. Yeah. So I've had to try and blag my way through the season and just do as best as I can. And 5 games to go, we were in contention of the playoffs. A few contentious decisions went against us. I'm not.
Funnily enough, that's what I was talking about, Robbie.
I can't even tell you honestly. I mean, we had 20 games and I was banned for 4 of them. So.
Were you a little outspoken, Robbie? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, not outspoken. I'm passionate naturally. So, So what happens is if I'm sort of having a go at someone, then I'm the worst person in the world. But if it's a Pep or it's a Jurgen, they're extremely passionate. But at the particular time, how I got banned, I was just basically saying everyone was against us. There was one of the co-commentators were really having a go at my bench. And look, Koisty and Gabby will tell you, whenever you obviously are on a football pitch and someone's having a go at your staff or your players, I think football, persons want to come and just try and put that person down because, we are a family. And this person was having a go at my team and my staff. So, I'm sticking up for them. So, apparently you can't do that. So, I'll do that next year.
I saw it, mate. I saw it, and you were well within your rights. Listen, I want to move on briefly, Robbie, to Liverpool. Clearly, it's been well documented, mate, the injuries they've had, but great finish to the season. Alisson's 94th minute header was probably the icing on the cake, but obviously the job was completed yesterday, and it's no mean achievement. Champions League football again. Yeah,
I think it's been an incredible year for Liverpool. I think when you think of what they achieved last year, I think people automatically think that, you've got a great team and you're going to go there again. But look, let's be honest, Man City are an incredible team as well, aren't they? So, they thoroughly deserve this year. Liverpool have had a lot of injuries. And I know we've all heard all the stories and, it's been well documented. But, for Liverpool to get where they were or to get where they are now and finish 3rd in the Premier League, I think if you'd have said that maybe, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, I think people would have probably laughed at you. So, I think the ending, the 5 straight wins, I think have been absolutely quite astonishing. And you pointed out the Alisson goal, which was pivotal in the season. Really, it was. Without that goal, then I think it gives everyone a little bit of a downer going into the last game of the season, shall I say? And obviously that win gives them that little bit of a boost. And yesterday's performance was just a thoroughly professional performance. Not unbelievably great, but done the job and very professional.
Robbie, do you think if Manchester City sign Harry Kane, do you think Liverpool need to strengthen in any areas to compete next season for the title?
Well, Gab and yourself and Koisty will know. I think whenever you are involved in a football team, I think you always want to sign players, and regardless of what your positions are, whatever team thinks they need to strengthen up, I think you need to strengthen every area. You need to strengthen the squad. So you need to bring players in who will keep players there on the toes. What you're doing is, I've always had sort of a little bit of a theory that if you're not signing players, you're not potentially standing still. You're potentially going backwards because other teams in and around you will be signing players and going that little bit further or a little bit bigger. So I think you as a club, if you've got ambitions and real ambitions of winning Premier Leagues, winning Champions League, then I think you have got to sign players. Now, look, Harry Kane is probably one of the outstanding players in the Premier League. He really is, scores goals, we see his assists. I'm not surprised that there's not going to be a shortage of clubs wanting to take his services. Whether clubs can afford him, I don't know. Now, you look at maybe City, you look at, even United, they could probably afford him. I'm not sure Liverpool have got the money to bring in a player of that ilk, a player of that that price. But if City get him, it makes them stronger, which is for, doesn't it?
Yeah. It certainly does. Very, very quickly, Robbie, I just want to ask you, what's next for you? Are you staying with, is it East Bengal, or have you moved on from there? And
It's SC East Bengal. I've got another year left. So obviously with the current situation in India with the COVID, we're not 100% sure what's really happened. So I'm just on the phone all the time trying to find out what's the score.
Well, what we certainly want to see is Robbie Fowler managing over here at some point. That would be fantastic. Robbie, really appreciate you joining us today.
Great to talk to you, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gab.
See you later, mate. See you later.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.